So Jason Walsh, I'm going to give him the title of probably the year's most opportunistic criminal.
Yeah.
Who didn't really do any harm, but he saw a way of making money in a very cheeky fashion, and sort of even tried to excuse himself for doing so.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting case because you think, we're talking about crime and punishment all the time and who deserves what. And you have to look at Jason Walsh and think, he got a suspended sentence, and surely nobody can really complain about that him being given it. Basically, what the court heard was he illegally turned the grounds of a school into what was described as the cheapest car park in Europe. What he did basically was he opened the locks on the school gates and he charged up to 150 cars to park there at the school after breaking the locks to get in.
Over the summer holidays.
So there's nobody. It's not as if the kids couldn't go to school that day. It's not as if there was any presumably replacing the lock was the extent of the damage. I was just wondering, is this as close to a victimless crime as you could possibly get?
Yeah. How much was he charging for the car park?
Well, it did, I don't know if that fully made clear now. He did actually cause €1,000 damage, which he did repay.
Yeah.
But it caught my eye, of course, because I did actually go to St. Vincent's primary school, which is on the Finglas Road, so there'd be a lot of pay parking there. And it's very close to the Glasnevin Cemetery.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't say that, but I presume, it's particularly on the weekends.
And in the summertime, people are going to be going. Tourists are going to be going.
Tourists, but also people go,
yeah,
Saturday morning or Sunday morning.
See the graves.
So there's a lot of flower sellers out there, you see. Yeah. And the local estates get really, really full really quickly. And, on all main roads, that Finglas Road, they don't let parking on it like they once did. So I presume, but I don't know. And also, of course, there would be the GA around there as well. So I don't know which he took advantage of, but he just opened the gates.
And he's the ultimate lock hard, is he? Do those guys still exist? Do you remember they used to show up behind your car wherever you were parking and lock it hard, and then you'd give them a few bob.
Oh yeah, watch your car, mister. I remember even doing it, believe it or not. When I was about 12 with a couple of people. I've tempted to name check them there. That was my first.
Name check their first name.
I will not. Well, a guy called Tom, who I haven't seen in many years, but I remember doing it with him.
Anyway, the court actually heard, I was asking how much, he got €200 with 150 cars. So he's charging €1 a car park.
Well, they give the evidence, don't they? And of course, he's not going to have his accounts forensically examined.
I'd say, was it?
Well, he's not going to have his accounts forensically examined by the courts to see if he only did make €200. It's gas, so that the courts, even the language of the solicitor and the judge. So his solicitor has a sort of defense. We always talk about legalese and the very highbrow, but he just says he just was trying to make a few extra quid, and the judge says he had a good run of it.
Just to turn this a little bit, he does have 181 previous convictions, this guy, including offences for burglary. He has told the court that he was a recovering drug addict. No doubt most of those offences probably happened when he was in addiction.
Yeah.
And that he is trying to turn his life around. He's had a lot of trauma himself, he said, including the loss of a partner who was murdered. So, he's done this. He's come up in a kind of a quirky little story, but there is a background there. There's a human being there who's obviously been...
Yeah, and I think in this case, we often hear about people talking about getting in dealing with their addiction. But I do think in this case, it was said to me that is a very genuine thing, that he has made great strides.
Right.
He's genuinely drug-free and participating in that community and making strides there. So I don't think, sometimes you hear people saying they're getting treatment for the drug problem, and then you open up their Facebook page the next day to look for a picture and they're smoking joints. That definitely is not the case in this case. People, look, if you look at, we have this huge overcrowding issue in prisons. It's a really, really big problem for this country. And, there's people getting most people now who are getting these 3-month sentences that you hear about, they're really not serving any of it. But you have to think that there has to be a priority given to violent crimes. And the judge does point out that there's a loss to the school, and therefore the loss to the school goes to the loss to the children. And that's fair enough. Nobody's saying he shouldn't be prosecuted. But
he's paid back the €1,000 damage that was caused. But I think maybe for Jason Walsh in recovery, and we wish him well with that, if he could use that brain of his and those little
charm,
a little bit of a sort of a
entrepreneurial spirit,
exactly, and move on with that.
Yes,
in more honest gameplays.
And we'll go back to the more serious criminals in the next episode.
Exactly. I'm Nicola Tallant, and you're watching Crime World, a podcast about criminals, drugs, and the underworld in Ireland and across the globe. Make sure you subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications so you can be the first to watch all our latest episodes. You can also listen wherever you get your podcasts.